Hi guys, I just impulsively bought the new DJI Mini 3 Pro. Not really. I did actually plan this for a while now. This video is not sponsored by DJI, it's just only my thoughts and honest review of the DJI Mini 3 Pro ever since I own it. Although it will be great, but hey, maybe one day. I always felt like traveling around Europe, it felt wrong not to have a drone to capture certain shots that which only can capture by a drone, which is very frustrating for me, believe it or not. So it's like when I was going to France and then flying, when I was like visiting those lakes, towns and everything, I've always wondered, perhaps I can get a better shot if I have a drone. I can't possibly attach a phone and then I just throw my phone in the air and capture the shot, right? No, it does not make sense. So I was like thinking there and then, maybe it's time to invest in a drone. Then I can capture those kind of shots that it cannot be captured on conventional means like a camera or a phone. So it was time for me to get a drone. So it was a lot of thinking on what drone I wanted to take. So one you might ask is, why did I pick the DJI Mini 3 Pro instead of all the other drones that DJI offers, such as the Mavic 3 or the new Avata? I've been thinking of that question for quite some time, and I did countless research before deciding on the drone on what I wanted to get, which was the DJI Mini 3 Pro, which I'll be getting into. So one of the facts that I actually considered the DJI Mini 3 Pro is because of in terms of regulations. So if I buy the drone in Singapore or I buy a drone in Europe, the drone is subjected to regulational means such as registration wise and paperwork, depending on the drone that I'm getting. In terms of drone regulations, drone with an overall weight of 250 grams or more is subject to regulations with the various authorities, which requires a drone flying certification in certain countries before the drone could ever take off from the ground. Given my use of the drone would be in Europe requires a registration of the drone, and given my use of the drone will be heavily in Europe requires the registration of the drone, and before that I have to undergo a drone flying course in Europe itself, which costs over about 100 euros, which does not make financial sense, as my objective is to just fly and capture amazing shots. This is so troublesome when it comes to repeated paperwork, and the cost for the drone course in order to fly a drone in the EU does not make sense. Drone price wise, I would buy the drone in Singapore is more cost effective. But then it does not make sense if I were to do the paperwork in Singapore itself. I register the drone in Singapore and have to re-register in Europe and undergo the drone course in Europe to get certified to fly the drone, which I don't think it makes really a lot of sense. So that was one of the things that I had to research first, especially if you're buying a new drone. Researching on the regulation of the country where you're flying the drone is very important before you can fly the drone itself. So please do your necessary research beforehand. Now moving on to the drone. The drone is equipped with a lot of safety and functions, which is a lot to go through. In terms of safety, the drone is equipped with a forward, backward and downward sensors to help the drone avoid obstacles when it encounters during its shoot or its flight path. However, the sensor will only be working in a lit environment and won't be as effective at night. So do fly cautious when you're flying with low light environment. The drone comes with a few quick shot modes, which is inbuilt in the DJI iFly app, which is the Drone, Helix, Rocket, Circle, Boomerang and Asteroid. There is also a follow me function where the drone is able to follow the targeted subject while flying, which is very useful when you're taking moving shots like driving shots when you want to capture an aerial shot of your vehicle moving down the road, or any like aerial shots of you walking and hiking at the same time. These are shots that the tracking will actually be useful. But having said that, I'm still yet to actually play with the tracking function. I only did the tracking function for the Drone, Helix, Rocket, Circle and Boomerang and Asteroid function, which is the quick shot modes. So yeah, there's a lot of things that the drone is capable of, but I have not actually fully explored. So in terms of specs, this camera comes with a 48 megapixel camera, which can capture both portrait and landscape, which is the first in DJI's lineup. In terms of video, it can shoot up to a whopping 4K at 60 frames per second, which is very impressive for a small drone, and then at slow motion at 1080p at 120 FPS. You might be wondering, does this drone come with HDR capture? Yes, it is supported in both photography and videography, and then in terms of videography, it's able to capture up to 30 FPS. So now we'll move on to battery. So there's two types of battery being offered to the DJI Mini 3 Pro. The Intelligent Flight Battery, which has a flight time of 34 minutes and is the battery that comes with the drone when you first purchase it. Or you can opt for the more flight time one, which will be the Intelligent Flight Battery Plus, which offers you a 47-minute flight time, which is slightly more, and then you have to buy it separately. If you're only capturing for short photos and short videography, I honestly think 34 minutes is enough. 47 minutes, the thing is, maybe if you want to do like heavy videography in 4K 60 FPS, in high wind conditions, maybe wise to get the 47 minutes, the Intelligent Flight Battery Plus pack. So one of the most interesting thing that DJI actually offered this time round is something called the Smart RC. So the Smart RC comes with a screen inbuilt into the controller with the battery duration of about 4 hours in the RC itself, which allows the user to fly with crisp and clear images without the need to connect any mobile devices. Essentially, what you're doing is you're paying a bit more for this screen, as this is an additional bump up in price. You're actually buying up for the screen to actually save the convenience of attaching the phone to the controller itself. So yeah, it really depends on the user. For me, I got the Smart RC because I didn't want to use the full battery, because if I were to go on a long road trip, it doesn't really make sense for me to use my phone battery if, let's say, I'm always on the move, I have a hard time accessing any charging ports. So I might as well charge the RC and then just use the RC's battery on its own. Another thing that the DJI does offer in all its drones will be the Fly More pack. You might be wondering, is it worth it to get the Fly More pack? Well, actually to me, it was actually the same question as well, whether it's worth it or not. So it actually really depends on the user. If you're going to a place with a limited access to a power point, it will be essential to have more batteries with you. But with the Fly More pack, it comes with a bag, a very nice looking bag, and then as well as spare propellers, a charging dock with additional 2 batteries inside for you. So this one, it comes with a total flight time of about 1 hour 30 minutes. And honestly, to me, 1 hour 30 minutes is actually pretty ample, given that I'm just going up to capture maybe a few second shots or a few photographs, and then I'll land the drone itself. 1 hour 30 minutes is more than enough for a road trip itself, because if let's say I'm going for a day trip, 1 hour 30 minutes, I won't be flying a drone 1 hour 30 minutes straight. If you're flying the drone for more extensive use like racing or videography that takes like a longer shot, maybe a time lapse or something, the Fly More Pack Plus will be more applicable for you, because it comes with the Intelligent Flight Battery Plus, which is 47 minutes flight time. But do note, the first battery will still be your initial 34-minute Intelligent Flight Plus battery, and the other two will be the Intelligent Flight Battery Plus. So what is my overall thought on the choice of getting this drone? So it was actually pretty simple. One thing that actually caught my attention was the flight regulation. The drone is now capped under 250 grams. The drone now laden weight is about 249 grams with the Intelligent Flight Battery. But if I were to get the Intelligent Flight Plus battery, the drone will exceed its laden weight of 249 grams and exceed into the 250 range, which that means the drone would be subjected to regulation means. The main reason I got the drone is because it's under regulation means, and then it's actually a pretty smart and intelligent drone, given that it can capture up to 4K and 60 FPS. The capture capabilities and then the safety features actually caught my attention. And for the price, it's actually very worth it. So this drone costs about $999 USD, which is one of the DJI's cheapest drone. And being the cheapest drone, it equipped with a Smart RC, smart safety features and capabilities for portrait and landscape capture. So is it worth it? It's really ultimately up to the user and what you're using it for. So yeah, this is my review of the DJI Mini 3 Pro. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know whether you like this kind of review video or not, but do leave a comment below to let me know if you like this kind of video or you want me to do such video next time if I were to purchase anything cooler. But yeah, so this will be the end of today's video. I shall see you in the next video.